Nullness research. What do love and cocaine have in common, and why would you sacrifice to friends for the one you love? Love is universal. It used to be believed that romantic love was unique to Western civilization, but anthropologist William Young Kuyak proved otherwise. Love is a universal emotion, shared by 88.5% of the cultures he studied, and it is experienced by people of any race, gender, or age. Moreover, the scientist claims, this phenomenon has biological roots. One glance is enough to determine how attractive someone is. A group of scientists from the California Institute of Technology discovered that even minimal information is enough to determine whether it's worth talking to an attractive stranger at a party. This was determined by neural activity in two areas of the prefrontal cortex. This activity was associated with two components of romantic evaluation, either judgments of physical beauty or individual preferences based on the partner's personality. So, in a sense, love at first sight exists, but it's more accurately described as attraction, based on a mixture of physical and psychological judgments formed in specific areas of the brain. How do addiction, euphoria, or the urge to fight arise? Learn about this in neurobiologist Vyacheslav Dubinin's course, Chemistry Between Neurons, Substances That Control Us. Bonus, you'll learn about neurotransmitters. The duration of love depends on your expectations. German scientists studied 1,965 couples and concluded that there are two models for how falling in love develops. The first, people who were at different levels of happiness at the beginning of their relationship paid more attention to conflicts and inevitably broke up. In the second model, the accumulation of distress occurred more slowly, so the lovers were able to maintain the relationship and cope with conflicts more effectively. The chances of finding love increase if you speak positively about yourself. Scientists from Concordia University have discovered that the so-called framing effect, focusing on positive or negative information about a person, plays a significant role at the beginning of a relationship. This is especially important for women, who, due to an evolutionary phenomenon known as parental investment theory, are more suspicious of negative information when evaluating a potential partner. Consequently, relationships are more likely to develop if each partner identifies positive traits. Romantic love is akin to cocaine. Anthropologist Helen Fisher explained that during her research, she scanned the brains of people in love using MRI, showing them their love object. She observed activation in the same area of the brain that becomes active after cocaine use. According to her, romantic love is much stronger than sexual desire. If you're simply denied sexual intimacy, you won't kill yourself or someone else. But if you're rejected by the object of your romantic love, you might do both. When romantic love fades, attachment remains. Another study, again using an MRI machine, confirmed Helen Fisher's theory that romantic love is replaced by attachment. Men who had been in relationships for more than 2 years showed increased arousal in the anterior cingulate cortex and insular cortex. The researchers concluded that the brain reacts differently to the object of love, and these feelings become calmer and deeper. Love doesn't require a perfect partner. Economists Stephen White and Benno Torgler analyzed the behavior of more than 41,000 Australians aged 18 to 80. Using data from the online dating site RSVP. Their conclusion was quite simple. People initiate communication and fall in love even if their partner doesn't meet their ideal image. One reason, according to the scientists, is the large number of options, and there may simply not be enough time to find and explore all available potential partners. The more demands placed on a partner, the greater the disappointment. A study conducted by University of Edinburgh psychologist Alison Lenton and University of Essex economist Marco Francesconi analyzed over 3,700 dating decisions in 84 speed dating events. The authors found that if the number of requirements for a potential partner was very high, height, occupation, income, education level, people made fewer date proposals. This effect was reinforced as the number of potential partners increased. In fact, a large number of options and a similar number of requirements actually reduced choice, and people often left speed dating events disappointed. Similar people are attracted to people, not opposites. Most often, couples form relationships with people who share similar personal characteristics, including age, religion, political orientation, and intelligence. For example, according to scientific data, people with an anxious attachment style and a weak attachment style are less likely to form relationships. Those who are worried about being abandoned experience a partner with a similar personality profile. Increases their relationship satisfaction. This also happens when a number of other factors coincide, such as whether people wake up early or, conversely, prefer to sleep in. The price of love is two close friends. British anthropologist Robin Dunbar argues that romantic partners consume time, leaving less time for friends. According to his research, a new partner displaces to close friends on average. And romantic relationships inevitably take time away from family and close friendships. And financial spending will also increase. Another study suggests that falling in love creates a feeling of uncertainty. It's unclear whether your feelings will be reciprocated. This leads to a search for variety, which can include impulsive purchases of something you haven't bought before. The authors suggest that this may be a symbolic means of regaining a sense of control. Scientists from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore are quite cynical in their conclusion. Since modern consumers reveal their relationship status through social media, companies can target those in love with advertising campaigns featuring a variety of product options. Genes have no influence on partner choice. This is the contention of a study by scientists from the University of Queensland. Their results show that genes have little direct influence on partner choice based on characteristics such as body size, personality, age, or social attitudes. Romantic love is valued more highly when both men and women have freedom of choice. Researchers Victor Demonk and Andrei Korotiev argue that in cultures where premarital and extramarital sex is permitted, romantic love is highly valued. In such cases, it often becomes a prerequisite for marriage. Conversely, if a society has double standards, men are allowed, but women are not, or strict rules apply to both sexes. The desire for romantic love is sharply reduced. It's always easier to fall in love with a familiar face. This is the conclusion reached by scientists from the University of Liverpool. According to their study, the human brain prefers familiar faces when choosing a potential partner. Test data suggests that the brain retains distinct visual images of male and female faces and responds to them when presented with similar ones. Moreover, according to Dr. Anthony Little, their experiment showed that a face can be a decisive factor in partner selection. Sex maintains testosterone levels in the body. Researchers from the University of Sydney measured testosterone and other hormones in the blood of subjects. They found that a 10% decrease in testosterone levels was associated with decreased sexual activity and desire, but not with fewer erections. This means that the less a man has sex, the lower his testosterone levels. Love is two areas of the brain and dopamine. Fisher also demonstrated that when people in love look at photos of their partners, the caudate nucleus, a part of the reptilian brain responsible for the pursuit of pleasure, and regions of the ventral tegmental area, VTA, are most strongly activated. The VTA stores dopamine, which is released during processes that elicit pleasure. Love without sex is real. Israeli philosopher Aaron Benziv argues that there is no clear line between romantic love and sexual desire. However, they cannot be equated. People often don't equate love with sex. He cites a study in which over 90% of subjects rejected the statement, "The best thing about love is sex." Meanwhile, 61% of women and 35% of men agreed with the statement, "I was in love without feeling any need for sex." Finally, the scientist concludes, most people think that love and sex can be separated, but they would prefer to combine them. In terms of psychological well-being, polyamorous people are no different from monogamous couples. Polyamorous relationships imply that partners can have mutually consenting romantic or sexual relationships with others. A 2015 study found that the quality of polyamorous relationships, as well as their level of psychological well-being, are no different from those of monogamous participants. Women are better at predicting relationship development. A longitudinal study published in 2001 assessed friends' assessments of a couple's future. First, friends assessed the relationship state significantly more negatively than the couple itself. Second, women were found to be better than men at predicting relationship development. They were especially successful in predicting relationship breakups. In relationships, it's best not to compare your partner to someone else. According to researchers from the University of Toronto, comparison leads to negative consequences. Maintain a positive perception of your partner. Subscribe to our channel.